Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is August 29, 2010. This is the weekly Ichimoku analysis for the U.S. markets. Let's begin. Let's go for our normal disclaimer. Basically, this is for educational use only. All charts that you're seeing are basically for Thinkorswim, TradeStation, and so forth. Okay, here are my contact details. You can go to eiicapital.com. You can find out more information in regards to Ichimoku. We did have a book that came out too. It's for beginners. And if you have any questions, you can post them on the forum. You could also follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to do something a little different than we normally do. Before we go to the charts, we're going to look at this chart right here. This is basically a percentage-based chart of a percentage-based chart of the futures for the ES, the NASDAQ, and the Dow futures, okay? So I just want to show you this to you. Reason why is you could see that even though the NASDAQ is more bullish that we're indicating than the other symbols, look at as far as percentage-wise. If you look at the NASDAQ, which is yellow, it's going down more of a percentage-wise. So this is showing you the NASDAQ's taking a little more hit right here. However, when it does move better. But this doesn't show that to you at all based on the percentage-based charts. So let's look at that when we look at everything. But as far as Ichimoku is concerned, NASDAQ still is leading as far in regards to a bullish type of scenario, and we'll show you that from the charts. Okay, but look at the Dow futures. Dow futures, as you can see, percentage-wise, you notice that initially back here in this time frame right here, right around August of this year, it did go down a lot more than the NASDAQ and so forth. But if you could see, the percentage move was drastic more on the NASDAQ compared to the others. Okay, but either way, this is just a percentage-based chart. We look at this sometimes. The other thing I want to do is I want to go through what we call our Ichimoku Dashboard. We have a rating system out now that where basically -5 to +5 to +8 is bullish, -5 to -8 is bearish. And what we're doing is, if you look here on a weekly time frame, I give you the weekly and the daily. You can see the weekly for the ES futures is bearish, but the daily is not bearish at all. It's basically just sitting there showing you on a daily time frame it's -2. So you do have some conflicts there. And if you look at the Kumo future on the daily, it's in conflict. If you look at the Dow futures, they're basically showing you starting to get bullish, but they're not there. If you look at the NASDAQ futures, you got the daily is very negative and the weekly is barely negative. And then if you look at the Russell 2000, same scenario as the NASDAQ. So from here, it looks like the NASDAQ, the Dow futures are starting to make a move up a lot more than uh, the NASDAQ is, which is pretty interesting. So let's go to our charts that we typically begin with. And let's start beginning there, and we'll go from there. So we'll start by beginning at the ES mini futures on a weekly time frame. And if you look at the ES mini futures on the weekly time frame, you got conflict all over the place. If you look, it's going for the cloud just like we predicted. It held that 1127 level. It's going down, came all the way down to our 1041 level, which we pretty much drew out. That was going to be a major support. Now, there's a high possibility it's going to consolidate a little and try to get out of this cloud if it's going to have a chance of sitting there going bearish. So it's doing exactly what we predicted in the last couple of weeks in our weekly video, so that's good. Let's go look at the Y. Let's go look for all the weekly first. If you look at the Dow futures, same scenario, but if you look, remember on the heat map, it showed us it was more bullish, and it is. Reason why is, look at this. It still hasn't even gone for the cloud yet at all. In fact, the Kumo futures just now gone equalized. So if you look at this as far as bullish concerned, this is more bullish than the ES mini futures, the Dow is. And then let's go look at the NASDAQ. Let's see, futures. Okay. And if you look at the NASDAQ, same scenario. It still hasn't gone in the cloud either. unlike the ES mini futures. But look at the future cloud here. This is thick compared to the Dow. That's why we've been saying the Nasdaq is probably the strongest as far as bullish is concerned. But there's percentage-based charts kind of show us different. But so either you sit there, if you're going to take any bullish opportunities short term, definitely look at either Nasdaq or Dow. Um, But to me, still, the Nasdaq is still very strong as far as bullish is concerned. Reason why this Kumo future has not turned yet. Okay, um, let's go look at. Let's start back here, and let's go look at the daily time frame real fast to kind of see what is going. If you can see, we're going down. We held that 1041 level. Look what we did. Intraday, we came down here, retested, came back up. Friday, we had a drastic move up because of the US, I think it was payroll numbers, and if you look, we're pretty much starting to go right back to the Tinkinson. This does not mean that just because we had a big update Friday does not mean that we're bullish at all. We're still very bearish, as you could see from the weekly and the daily. We haven't even penetrated the Tinkinson at all in Cajunson. We kind of expected it to go to this 1041 level, get there, bounce off it, pull back, maybe even come all the way to the Cajunson at 1082 or here at 1069, and then kind of see exactly what's going to happen at that level. So we really don't know what's going to happen there, but we're going to wait and see. We kind of expected this to be in this range now, so we got 1067 to 1041. Okay. If you look at the Dow futures, same scenario. If you look at the future cloud, same scenario. Everything's pretty much in the same scenario. You got conflicts all among the place, and that's why this is weak as far as bullish is concerned. Price is in the cloud, so sentiment is neutral now for on the daily time frame. And if you look at Nasdaq, sorry, I keep on doing this wrong. If you look at the Nasdaq futures, pretty much this is where we're at. If you can notice, the Tinkinson is actually pointing down, so that on the daily time frame, that doesn't look for the Nasdaq where good at all. So definitely based on this on the daily time frame, I will definitely probably look at something for Dow futures now to go bullish this week. If you're going to take anything short term on bearish, definitely something from the ES mini futures. That concludes today's webinar. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please contact us from any of the resources available on EII Capital.